The shouting started before the elevators even opened. "Fire him! Today!" A sharp voice echoed through the marble lobby. Guests turned their heads. Workers froze. And behind a tall pot of decorative palms, a man in old jeans and a janitor's shirt quietly tied his shoelaces. No one knew that this man, the new janitor, was Marcus Hale, the billionaire owner of the entire Hale Grand Hotel's chain. For months, he suspected something ugly happening inside his flagship hotel. Guest complaints, missing items, rumors that the staff treated poor guests differently. But every time he visited in a suit, the managers acted perfect. So today, he walked in with a mop instead of a $1 million watch. And within minutes, he heard something he never expected. He lifted the mop bucket and walked toward the noise. A middle-aged manager was yelling at a young black maid who stood shaking beside a housekeeping cart. Her name tag read Lena. She kept her eyes down as the manager shouted, "You dropped towels in front of a VIP room. Do you know who that guest is? Do you want to embarrass our hotel?" Marcus stopped beside them, pretending to adjust the mop handle. He watched Lena's hands tremble. Her fingers were red, almost swollen. She must have cleaned at least a dozen rooms already. The manager leaned in close. "If you make one more mistake, you're out." Lena finally whispered, "Sir, I only dropped them because my arm hurts. I didn't sleep much. My mom—" "I don't care about your excuses," the manager snapped. Marcus felt a heat rising in his chest. He wanted to rip off his disguise and fire the manager on the spot. But not yet. He needed proof. Real proof. The kind that couldn't be hidden behind fake smiles. He stepped forward and said gently, "Sir, maybe she—" The manager spun around. "Stay in your place, janitor." Marcus froze. He had been disrespected many times while undercover. But this felt different, bigger. Lena looked up for the first time. Her eyes were tired but strong, like she had learned to survive storms her whole life. The manager stormed away, leaving the two alone. Marcus whispered, "Are you okay?" Lena nodded quickly. "Yes, I'm fine. I just need this job." Her voice cracked, and she quickly wiped her cheek. Marcus kept his disguise steady. "Do they always talk to you like that?" She gave a small, painful smile. "It's normal. I'm used to it." That sentence hit him like a punch. Used to it? At his hotel? Before he could speak again, a loud crash came from down the hall. A guest had spilled an entire tray of coffee all over the carpet. The manager shouted from a distance, "Lena, clean that up now." Lena hurried toward the mess, pushing her heavy cart. Marcus followed with his mop bucket, pretending to help. As Lena knelt to wipe the floor, the guest who spilled it, a wealthy-looking woman, pointed at her and laughed lightly. These people are always so slow. Marcus felt something break inside him, but then he noticed Lena whispering something under her breath. Soft, almost like a prayer. He leaned slightly closer and heard the three words that made the billionaire freeze, gripping the mop handle until his knuckles turned white. 3 words that shook him more than any business deal ever had. 3 words he never expected to hear from a maid kneeling on a dirty carpet at his hotel. Lena whispered, "Please stay alive." Marcus's eyes widened. The mop slipped from his hand. Stay alive? Who was she talking about? And why did it sound like she was begging the universe? Before he could ask, Lena quickly wiped her eyes and stood up, pretending nothing happened. But Marcus Hale, billionaire and undercover boss, knew one thing. Those 3 words were not random. She was hiding a story, a painful one, and he was going to find out the truth, even if it broke his heart. Marcus couldn't get those 3 words out of his head. Please stay alive? No maid whispered something like that unless her world was falling apart behind closed doors. For the next hour, he followed Lena quietly, pretending to work but watching everything. The way she limped slightly. The way she winced each time she lifted a heavy laundry bag. The way she kept checking her cheap phone as if waiting for a message that never came. And the way every senior staff member treated her like she was invisible. But Lena, she kept going. Quietly, carefully, like someone carrying a secret too heavy for her small shoulders. Marcus finally approached her near the service hallway. "Lena," he said gently, "those words you said earlier, were you talking to someone? Is something wrong?" She stiffened. Fear flashed in her eyes for a second. "Oh, it was nothing," she whispered. "Just something I say sometimes." Marcus didn't push. Not yet, but the worry inside him grew. As they walked down the hallway, another worker, a tall bellboy, passed by and muttered just loud enough, "Watch out! Charity case coming through." Lena didn't react. She kept her head down. Marcus did react. His hands tightened into fists, but he forced himself to stay undercover. If he broke his role too early, he would miss the truth. They reached the laundry room. Steam filled the air, and the loud machines rattled nonstop. There, hidden from managers and guests, Lena finally exhaled. The small room felt like her only safe place. Marcus set his mop aside and leaned against the wall. "You deserve better than this," he murmured. Lena gave a soft laugh, the kind that had no joy. "Deserve? I just need to survive." Those words hit him again. Survive. Not live. Not grow. Not dream. Survive. Marcus's heart tightened. Before he could speak, Lena's phone buzzed. She grabbed it instantly. When she saw the message, her face drained of color. Marcus gently asked, "Is everything okay?" She swallowed hard. I have to go on break. Sorry." She rushed out of the room. Marcus waited 2 seconds, grabbed his bucket, and followed from a distance. The call that changed everything. Lena stepped into a dark, empty stairwell and pressed her phone to her ear. Her voice cracked as she whispered, "Mama, are you okay? Did the nurse come today?" Marcus froze outside the stairwell door. Lena listened and then said, "No, Mama, don't cry. I'll bring your medicine tonight. Please try to stay awake for me, okay?" Her voice broke into a sob. "Please stay alive, Mama, please. I'm trying." Marcus felt a chill run through him. So that's who she meant. Those 3 words weren't about herself. They were about her sick mother, fighting to stay alive. He closed his eyes, feeling something heavy settle deep in his chest. This wasn't just about rude managers or unfair treatment. This was survival. A daughter trying to keep her mother alive on minimum wage. When Lena ended the call, she wiped her face quickly and breathed hard, trying to pull herself back together. Marcus stepped inside quietly. She jumped, startled. "Oh, I didn't know you were." "I'm sorry," he said softly. "I heard some of it." Lena panicked. "Please, don't tell anyone. If the manager finds out I'm taking calls, he'll fire me. I can't lose this job. My mom, she needs me. She has heart failure. The medication is too expensive. I work double shifts so she can survive." Her voice shook. Her eyes filled. She stood there like a candle in a storm. Marcus felt something shift inside him, a feeling he hadn't felt in years. Responsibility. Not as a billionaire, not as a hotel owner, but as a human being. He said softly, "You shouldn't have to fight this alone." Lena shook her head fast. "Everyone fights alone. That's just life." Marcus stepped closer. "Not anymore." Lena frowned. "Why would you help me? You're just a janitor like me." Marcus almost told her the truth. It sat on the tip of his tongue. "But not yet. Let's just say," he whispered, "I'm someone who sees what others ignore." Before she could respond, the door swung open. The manager stood there, red-faced and furious. "What is this? A secret meeting?" he barked. "Lena, you're late for room 709. Lena jumped. "And you," the manager growled at Marcus. "If you think you can wander around making friends, you're done here." Marcus stared at him with a calm, cold expression. The manager didn't know he had just threatened the wrong man. The manager's voice thundered through the narrow stairwell. "Room 709 has been waiting for towels for 20 minutes, he snapped at Lena. "Move." Lena bowed her head and hurried out, her hands shaking. Marcus tried to follow, but the manager stepped directly in his path. "You," he sneered. "You're new, so listen carefully. Stay out of things that aren't your business." Marcus held the manager's stare, a stare he usually saved for board meetings when he was about to fire someone. But he swallowed his anger. Not yet. He needed one moment, one mistake, one piece of evidence. Then he'd burn this corruption to the ground. The manager jabbed a finger toward him. If I see you talking to her again, you're out. Understood. Marcus's voice was calm. Understood. But inside, he was making a promise. You will regret every word you just said. Up to room 709. Marcus quickly grabbed his mop bucket and followed Lena at a distance. The hallways grew quieter as they climbed to the 7th floor, where the expensive suites were located. Lena knocked on room 709. A loud man's voice shouted, "Finally! Took you long enough." The door swung open. A wealthy guest in a robe glared at her. The smell of alcohol hit the hallway. "You people are all the same," he muttered. "Slow and useless." Lena lowered her head. "I'm very sorry, sir. Here are your towels." But the guest snatched them violently, causing the corner of the towel to strike her injured wrist. She winced softly. Marcus saw it, and something in him snapped. The guest wasn't done. "You call this folded? Who trained you? A circus?" Lena whispered, "I can refold them if you like." "Oh, you refold them," the guest mocked. "Inside. Now." He grabbed her arm. Marcus dropped his mop bucket. "No," he said sharply. The guest turned, annoyed. "Excuse me?" "She's not going anywhere with you," Marcus said. Lena panicked. "Wait, please. It's okay. I'll handle it." But Marcus stepped between them. The guest scoffed. "You're just a janitor. Move." Marcus didn't move. The man shoved him. Marcus stumbled back a step, but then stood taller, stronger. He wasn't a janitor. He was the man who owned the entire building. "I said," Marcus repeated, "she's not going with you." The guest raised his voice. "Manager, I want this janitor fired." As if summoned, the manager arrived, breathing heavily. "What is happening here?" he demanded. The guest pointed at Marcus. "This idiot is blocking my maid. Fire him." The manager didn't even ask for details. He turned to Marcus. "You're done. Get your things and leave." Lena gasped. "No, it wasn't his fault." The guest. "Enough," the manager barked. "Do you want to join him? You want to lose your job too." Tears welled in Lena's eyes. Her throat tightened. She looked at Marcus with guilt and fear. Marcus took a deep breath. He had planned to wait longer, collect more evidence, expose everything at the end of the day. But the moment had arrived early. He reached slowly into his pocket. The manager crossed his arms. "What? You want to argue? You're nothing here." Marcus pulled out something small. A key card. Not just any key card. A black platinum master key card. The kind only one person in the company owned. The manager's smile faded. The guest blinked. Lena froze. Marcus held the card up calmly and said, "I think you need to understand who you're talking to." The manager's voice trembled. Where did you get that card?" Marcus stepped closer, his voice low and cold. "I didn't get it," he said. "It's mine." Silence filled the hallway. "I'm Marcus Hale," he said, "owner of Hale Grand Hotels." Lena's hand flew to her mouth. The manager's face turned ghost white. The guest's robe seemed to lose all its confidence. Marcus continued, his voice like thunder before a storm. "And I do not tolerate abuse in my hotels." He looked at Lena. "This ends today." The hallway fell silent after Marcus revealed his identity. Not a whisper, not a breath. The arrogant guest in the robe stepped back like he had touched fire. The manager's lips trembled. "And Mr. Hale, sir, I didn't know." "You didn't care," Marcus cut in sharply. He turned to the guest. "And you, hand me your room key." The guest stuttered, "W.I.? You're being removed from this hotel. Tonight." The man's face flushed. "You can't do that." Marcus stepped closer. "Try me." The guest's courage evaporated. His hand shook as he dropped the key into Marcus's palm. Without another word, he hurried inside to grab his things. Marcus turned his attention to the manager. "You," he said coldly, "and I need to talk." The manager swallowed hard. Sir, I had no idea it was you. I was just what? Marcus snapped. Being cruel? Abusing staff? Ignoring complaints? Letting guests humiliate workers? The manager's eyes darted around. Sir, please. Marcus raised a hand. Save it. He looked at Lena. She stood frozen, her eyes wide with shock, her hands shaking. Marcus softened his voice for her. Lena, can you wait in the staff lounge for a few minutes? I need to handle something. She nodded slowly. Why, yes, sir. As she walked away, she glanced back at him, not with fear, but with something new. Hope. The private confrontation. Marcus led the manager into a small storage room down the hall. He shut the door behind them. The manager immediately dropped to excuses. Sir, you have to understand. No, Marcus interrupted. You need to understand. His voice was low, controlled, dangerous. I built this hotel with a dream that every employee would feel safe, respected, protected. And you turned it into a place of fear. The manager's face turned red. Sir, they're just staff. They're... Marcus slammed his hand on the metal shelf. They're human beings. The manager flinched. Marcus continued. For months, I received complaints. Guests being favored. Staff being insulted. People being overworked. And every time I came in a suit, you hid it all behind fake smiles. He pointed toward the door. But today I saw your true face. The manager's shoulders slumped. Sir, please, don't fire me. I have a family. Marcus stared at him with ice-cold fury. So does Lena. The manager blinked. W what? Her mother is dying, Marcus said. She works double shifts. She cries in stairwells. And you treat her like trash. The manager stuttered. I didn't know. You didn't want to know. The room went still. Marcus took a breath and said the words the manager feared most. You're done here. Sir, please. Security will escort you out in 10 minutes. Marcus turned and opened the door. Before stepping out, he added, and I will personally make sure no other hotel in this city hires you again. Not after what I've seen. The manager collapsed onto a crate, burying his face in his hands. It was over. Back to Lena. Marcus walked into the staff lounge. Lena sat alone on a bench, twisting her fingers nervously. When she saw him, she stood so fast she almost tipped over. I'm so sorry, she said quickly. I didn't know you were the owner. I shouldn't have let you help. I shouldn't have gotten you involved. Lena. Marcus said her name softly. She stopped talking immediately. You did nothing wrong, he said. Nothing. Her eyes filled with tears she couldn't hide anymore. Everyone here treats me like I'm nothing, like I don't belong. I didn't want you to get in trouble because of me. Marcus felt that same painful twist in his chest. You belong here more than anyone, he said. You work harder than half the staff combined. And from today on, no one will treat you like this again. She stared at him, confused. But why do you care? I'm just a maid. Marcus shook his head. You're not just anything. She looked down, her breathing shaky. Marcus hesitated, then asked gently, Lena, why didn't you tell anyone about your mother? Her lips trembled. They don't care. They would fire me. They think poor people are problems. Marcus clenched his teeth. Not anymore, he said firmly. I'm changing things around here. Starting now. Just then, Lena's phone buzzed again. She looked at the screen, and her face went pale. And my mom's nurse. She says my mother fainted. Marcus stepped forward instantly. Go. I'll drive you. Lena looked up, tears filling her eyes. Really? Yes, he said. Right now. He grabbed his coat, took her arm gently, and together they rushed toward the elevator. The night was about to change everything.